Hi guys. Hope you guys are having a great week and hope you're all doing well. I was just I had a conversation recently with a member of the mentoring club, and he sent me a message and he told me he said something within the message that kind of caught my attention, and he said he had some particular expectations or a particular way in which he had planned for his life to go. And now he's at that point that he planned in the past for his life, and things haven't panned out the way he actually thought things would have panned out by now. And so the way he planned things are not the way things went, and that sometimes brings him some frustration. You understand? Some sadness that where did he go wrong? What went wrong? What could he have done better? It was that he didn't plan well enough, and that's what I want to address today, because I can totally relate to what he said. When I think of my life, I look at my life, um, which I do a lot of times. I think of what did I think when I was in secondary school, of what my life would be when I'm 40, and I think of that picture I had in my head and the kind of house I thought I'll be living in, the kind of cars I thought I'll be driving. Um, it's not. It's definitely not what I saw in my head when I was a young boy in secondary school or primary school, thinking of what I would be like when I'm 40. It's very different. Even as close to when I was in university, when I was just living, graduating from university, what I thought my life would be 20 years after graduating, it really isn't. You understand? The picture I had in my head and the picture of my life now, pretty different. And when I put those two pictures together, you understand, just from the outside looking at it, I feel what I had in my head was more attractive than what I have right now when I look at it from the surface. And sometimes when you look at it from the surface, you can be pretty frustrated about how your life has turned out. You understand? Like, this is not what I planned for my life. This is not the level I thought I would be. This is not the social status I thought I would have risen to at this point in my life. And I want to today try to put some things in perspective for you. Now, when your life doesn't pan out the way you have planned, I want to dare to say it is not a bad thing. A lot of times, it is not a bad thing for most people. For some people, it might be because some of us have made some, very bad decisions, very bad decisions that are kind of um, affected the trajectory of our life. You understand, to a large extent. Um, but yeah, there's nothing beyond redemption. But I'm not even trying to address bad decisions. For the person here that has felt, I've kind of gone the path of responsibility. I've been responsible. I've been diligent. I've done what the things I had the power to do that I thought were good and right decisions. Yes, maybe I might have made a few blunders, but not anything totally life altering, you know. But still, my life is not where I thought it should have been. Now, um, what I want to say is that sometimes, a lot of times, not even sometimes, most times, and God is merciful enough to not let things turn out the way we planned. That is part of God's mercy. And I'll explain to you why I see it as a mercy that your life didn't turn out exactly the way you planned for it to turn out. Why that is a mercy? It's a mercy because the human being doesn't know how to plan. The human being, no matter how wise he is or she is, doesn't know how to plan. And why do I say so? Because the human being doesn't have the ability or the capacity um, or the maturity to factor in adversity into their journey. And I'll say that again. The human being doesn't have the ability, the capacity, or the maturity to factor in adversity into their journey. So if I were to ask any of you when you were leaving secondary school, what your plan was for your life right now that you are done with university, almost done with university, you've been out of university for a while, you've been working, whatever stage you are, the plan you had for your life, when you were planning it, did you plan in hardship, difficulty, disappointment, sorrow, heartbreak? The human being doesn't have the ability or the capacity or the maturity to plan in adversity. So the plan you had for your life was a diabetic one. And what I mean was it was full of so much sweetness that wasn't good for you, that wouldn't have been good for you eventually. You planned in only sweetness. You didn't plan to fail. You didn't plan to get your heart broken. You didn't plan to be rejected. You didn't plan all those things that might have happened to cause some kind of delay, rejection, sadness, sorrow. You understand? You didn't plan all those things. You planned only the sweet and the good things. Nobody plans into their life that, okay, by the time I am 30 years old, I will lose one of my parents. Or by the time I'm 32, I will have an accident. By the time I'm 35, I would have my heart broken. By the time we don't plan all those things. Nobody plans that. We plan a smooth, sweet ride. We plan sweetness. You see, when we plan our lives like trick or treating. Trick or treating. You know what they do abroad? Halloween? When they go to each door and ask for sweets and candy. And the end, kids go with a basket full of sweets and candy that they shouldn't consume all of. All of it, they shouldn't consume it. We plan our lives as a hamper full of sweets that will do more harm to our teeth, to our stomach, to our general health. We are like a child that is left at home and told to take care of himself. What that child will plan as taking care of him or herself would be eating all the candy in the house, not taking their bath, watching TV all day, going to bed late. They will plan what they see as sweet, but some of those things will bring them harm. So God was merciful not to let your plan pan out. Because if your plan had panned out, it would be full of so much sweetness that would bring about challenges in your life. The general outcome of your life would not be good. And that's why God took control of your plan and factored in adversity. Because He realized that adversity makes you better, makes you wiser, makes you kinder, makes you stronger. He knew that you needed some things that didn't taste so good to help you grow. Just like a child needs some food that doesn't taste so good, some vegetables. Like my kids, sometimes there's some vegetables they don't like, but we make them eat it. They have to eat it. It cannot always be sweet pizza and ice cream. If we gave them all they wanted, all they planned, my kids, they wake up a day and they plan what they are going to eat. If we went with that, their plan, they will not be healthy kids. When they came out, people will look at them, their skin will not be fresh, they will not look healthy or attractive. So sometimes we give them some things that they didn't plan, that taste bitter, that taste sour, that taste tangy, that taste spicy, that taste bland. so that they can be healthier, because all they plan for is sweet. So don't feel too bad that I know where you planned, because your plan was not a good plan. It was a sweet plan, but not a good plan. What you have when you know God is a good plan. Not always sweet, but good. And in the end, what matters at the end of your life is not whether you had a sweet life, it's whether you had a good life. And I hope someone understands what I'm trying to say today. Don't get frustrated with yourself. And I started with my life. I never thought this is where I would be. But when I look closely at my life, I'm thankful that I am where I am. It hasn't been sweet, but it has been good. Good. I have the confidence that I'm living a good life. But not sweet. Not sweet. There've been some bitter, sour, peppery experiences. But they've all added up for good. If my life turned out the way I planned, I will not be mentoring you guys. I will not be doing half the things I'm doing giving. I will not. So has my life actually failed? No. My life has become better because God took control of my plans. Because my plan was a diabetic one, not a very healthy one. I hope someone understands this today and you're not too hard on yourself. Realize that your plan is not the ultimate plan. God's plan is the ultimate plan, is the good plan. As long as you know God, and that's the catch to it. You know God. You've given your life to Him. You've handed it over to Him. Then you must trust His plan through the good, the bad, the bitter, the sour, the soft, the hard, and trust it all to add up to good. All right, guys. Have a great day.